The accused drug lord they call El Mencho is considered in law enforcement circles to be Chicago's public enemy number one. The crime lineage of Al Capone, the most wanted fugitive here since notorious El Chapo was finally captured.
Members of a Mexican drug cartel shoot down a military helicopter. A drug cartel shot down a Mexican military helicopter last week. This marks the first time a rocket-propelled grenade has been used by a cartel against a military aircraft.
For the first time, cartel kingpin El Mencho tonight is a $15 million man. That is the U.S. government reward just increased and placed on the head of Ruben Oseguera Cervantes, alias El Mencho. Such a huge bounty on such a physically insignificant man shows the intensity behind a fugitive manhunt for Chicago's public enemy number one.
Deception, violence, a global manhunt. El Mencho, one of the world's most deadly cartel leaders, is still at large. In this video, we're uncovering how the sinister CJNG leader faked his death, outsmarted the US Army, and continues to escape capture whilst running a deadly empire. What you're about to hear and see is graphic and disturbing. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Breaking at 11, a drug cartel leader fakes his death and ends up living in the Southland. He was hiding in plain sight before federal marshals moved in to make a stunning arrest in a Riverside neighborhood.
Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, runs a $50 billion empire of death and destruction. Ruthless beyond imagination, he orders kidnappings, bombings, and executions without a second thought. Now, he's vanished like a ghost, faked his own death, and outsmarted the most advanced law enforcement agencies in the world. The US and Mexican governments have put a $15 million price tag on his head, but instead of hiding, El Mencho rewrites the rules, dragging anyone and everyone into his dark, violent world. From faking his son-in-law's death to using drones as weapons, his story is chilling.
El nombre del líder criminal, fundador del cártel Jalisco Nueva Generación, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, alias El Mencho, ha estado en tendencia en las diferentes plataformas de redes sociales en las últimas semanas, y no solo por el hecho de que autoridades de Cualcomán le agradecieron por regalar juguetes en diciembre, sino por el rumor de que el gobierno estaría ocultando su muerte. Y es que dichos rumores con tintes conspiranoicos surgen luego de que, citando información dada a conocer por el periodista Ricardo Ravelo en el blog del narco,
In November 2021, El Mencho's son-in-law, Cristian Fernando Gutierrez Ochoa, better known as Guacho, made a deadly mistake. Two Mexican Navy officers were kidnapped because El Mencho's wife, Rosalinda Gonzalez Valencia, had been arrested. The cartel demanded her release. To save himself, Guacho helped orchestrate the kidnapping. But El Mencho wasn't satisfied. He needed to protect his family, the cartel, and their $50 billion empire. His solution? A twisted lie. El Mencho claimed he'd killed his own son-in-law, a smokescreen to get Guacho out of Mexico. While the world thought Guacho was dead, he slipped into California with a new identity, ready to continue the cartel's deadly business.
Tonight, federal authorities say El Mencho last year fake murdered his own son-in-law, Cristian Fernando Gutierrez Ochoa, so that the young man could sneak into Los Angeles and start a new life.
Fast forward to Riverside, California. Guacho was living in luxury, tucked away in a $1.2 million mansion bought in cash. The cartel laundered their money through fake tequila companies, just one of many tricks up their sleeve. But Guacho wasn't just hiding. He was running operations from the US, overseeing the movement of 40,000 kilograms of and 2,000 kilograms of into America. That's enough poison to kill thousands. Federal agents were watching. They saw him using counter-surveillance, trying to stay one step ahead. But in December 2024, the game was up. Agents stormed his mansion, arrested him, and revealed the web of lies he'd built around himself.
Ochoa used $1.2 million in drug money to buy a luxury residence here in Riverside, California, according to federal agents. Ochoa moved into an exclusive neighborhood under the fake name Luis Miguel Martinez, investigators say, after his real persona was supposedly murdered in Mexico by his father-in-law, the ruthless drug lord Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, alias El Mencho. Federal agents have been after El Mencho here in Los Angeles and in Chicago for years.
The CJNG doesn't just deal drugs. They rule entire territories through terror. Their chilling weapon is fear, with tactics straight out of a war zone. They ambush police convoys, berserker soldiers, and bomb rivals using drones. One of their most harrowing displays of terror unfolded on May 1st, 2015, during Operation Jalisco. Mexican authorities launched an army to capture El Mencho and destroy his cartel. But the CJNG was ready. Near Villa Purificación, Jalisco, cartel gunmen fired a rocket-propelled grenade, RPG, at a Mexican Army Cougar EC-725 helicopter. The explosion sent the helicopter spiraling down in flames. 9 soldiers died, their bodies charred and broken. Survivors lay scattered, gravely wounded. It was one of the deadliest assaults on the Mexican military in years, a scene of carnage that sent a clear message. The CJNG wasn't just another cartel, they were a heavily armed force, ready for war.
Mexico's government claims the new generation cartel of Jalisco used rocket-propelled grenades last Friday to bring down this army helicopter, killing 6 soldiers.
We heard a boom, like a bomb. They took down the aircraft. They took it down.
The ambush was only the beginning. In the aftermath, the CJNG unleashed a wave of chaos. They blocked roads, torched 39 vehicles, and attacked gas stations and banks across 20 towns. Fires raged, leaving a trail of destruction that paralyzed entire regions. Even local governments are under their thumb. In Michoacán, officials are forced to hand over portions of their budgets to the cartel. Those who resist vanish without a trace. The CJNG's grip extends beyond extortion, with armed drones terrorizing police stations and driving people from their homes to claim territories. Their methods are designed to instill pure fear. Decapitation is one of their favorite tactics. In one grim display, 5 decapitated bodies were found on a road in Jalisco, their heads stuck to a bag nearby, a signature of the cartel. The message was clear: defy them, and you face a fate worse than death.
The new generation cartel blocked roads on May 1st with burning vehicles in at least 32 municipalities in Jalisco State and the states of Colima, Guanajuato, and Michoacán. A security analyst says this is the first time a drug trafficking organization has used rocket-propelled grenades against a Mexican military aircraft.
They have the capacity to use firepower, the capacity to organize, and very probably they have infiltrated government security agencies.
For El Mencho, crime isn't just business, it's family. His wife, Rosalinda, handled the cartel's finances until her arrest. His son, Ruben El Menchito Oseguera, oversaw logistics and violence. But in September 2024, Ruben was convicted in the US for drug trafficking and orchestrating acts of terror, including the downing of a Mexican military helicopter. His daughter, Jessica Johanna, laundered money for the cartel until her arrest in 2020 and sentencing in 2021. Even Rosalinda was briefly released on bail, but rearrested in 2021 for money laundering. One by one, El Mencho's family members were picked off, but he remained 2 steps ahead.
Nemesio Oseguera Ramos, el Mencho, tiene 6 hermanos. 2 son famosos porque ya fueron detenidos. Abraham Oseguera, alias Don Rodo, fue detenido este domingo 21 de abril en Outland de Navarro, Jalisco, y pertenecía a la cabeza de la estructura del cártel Jalisco Nueva Generación. Antonio Oseguera fue aprehendido en diciembre de 2022 en el municipio de Tlajomulco de Zúñiga, Jalisco.
El Mencho's influence extends far beyond Mexico. Under El Mencho's leadership, the CJNG grew into a global drug empire, smuggling cocaine, meth, and across the United States, Europe, Asia, and Africa. But drugs are just part of the story. The cartel has its hands in everything: extortion, illegal mining, fuel theft, and even the avocado trade. Local farmers are forced to pay taxes or risk losing everything. The cartel also launders billions through fake businesses, from tequila brands to real estate and offshore accounts. Their reach is vast, their methods ruthless. The CJNG doesn't just sell drugs, they control people. They use fear and violence to take over entire communities. They show off their power with acts of twisted generosity, like at Christmas 2024 in Cualcomán, Michoacán. There, under banners thanking El Mencho, the cartel handed out gifts and blared messages through loudspeakers, daring the government to stop them. It wasn't kindness, it was a warning. They own the towns, the people, everything. The gifts are paid for with blood. These same communities are squeezed dry through extortion and threats. Disloyalty isn't an option. The CJNG rules like warlords, using terror to bend people to their will. They are not just criminals, they are a force of destruction, turning fear into a weapon and entire regions into their playground.
Who also goes by the name the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, has not only expanded its territory outside of the Jalisco state, it's also diversified its business operations outside of the world of smuggling. In fact, it now operates an elaborate scam targeting Americans that is more profitable than drug running, and there's almost nothing law enforcement can do to stop it.
As of today, rumors about El Mencho continue to swirl in the rugged mountains of Jalisco. Some claim he's hiding there, protected by mercenaries trained to kill without hesitation. Others believe he built a private hospital to treat his kidney disease. In 2022, Narco Mantis, graffiti banners used by cartels to send messages, declared him dead. They claimed he died in a Guadalajara hospital from respiratory failure, but the DEA wasn't buying it. Agent Kyle Mori, who has hunted El Mencho for years, dismissed the rumors. He's alive, Mori said, and with every passing day, the manhunt grows deadlier.
Incluso con la ayuda de los militares, será difícil que el aguaje vuelva a ser habitable. Este es el comandante del Cártel Jalisco en la zona, peleando en su camioneta blindada.
By the end of 2024, cracks began to show in El Mencho's empire. The arrest of Christian Fernando Gutierrez Ochoa wasn't just another routine bust, it struck at the heart of the CJNG. Federal agents discovered that Guacho had been managing critical cartel operations from his luxury home in Riverside. His arrest handed U.S. law enforcement a treasure trove of intelligence, exposing details about the CJNG's money laundering schemes, drug trafficking routes, and even attempts to manipulate the U.S. justice system. But instead of folding, the CJNG doubled down on violence. In response to Guacho's arrest, they unleashed chaos in Mexico. Bombs on highways, ambushed military convoys, and opened firefights with police. Their message was clear: they wouldn't go down without a fight.
The most wanted fugitive here since notorious El Chapo was finally captured. Tonight, federal authorities say El Mencho last year fake murdered his own son-in-law, Christian Fernando Gutierrez Ochoa, so that the young man could sneak into Los Angeles and start a new life.
Through it all, El Mencho remained a ghost. Unlike flashy cartel leaders like Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, El Mencho avoided the public eye. He blended into rural communities while controlling a $50 billion empire from behind closed doors.
Ochoa used $1.2 million in drug money to buy a luxury residence here in Riverside, California, according to federal agents. Ochoa moved into an exclusive neighborhood.
The US and Mexican governments aren't giving up. From tracking financial transactions to intercepting communications, the hunt for El Mencho is relentless. The DEA has labeled him their top target, and his $15 million bounty is one of the largest in history. But this isn't just about one man. They want to dismantle the entire CJNG network. Taking El Mencho out would be the first step in stopping the violence.
Well, Natasha, first, the U.S. government now increasing the reward for any information leading up to the arrest of cartel kingpin El Mencho up to $15 million from the original $10 million. El Mencho is known for transforming the Cartel de Jalisco Nueva Generación, or the CJNG, into the world's most violent and powerful cartels in Mexico, now rivaling the Sinaloa cartel. Now, while the CJNG has been dominating and trafficking, its recent push into smuggling has made it a top target of U.S. and Mexican authorities. The latest developments also follow the recent arrest of El Mencho's son-in-law, Christian Gutierrez Ochoa, in Riverside, California. We reported that here on News Nation. Gutierrez Ochoa went to extreme lengths to avoid capture, even faking his own death in Mexico, which threw authorities off. He actually fled with a fake identification into the U.S. illegally and was living a luxurious lifestyle in California. Now, authorities say that he played a critical role in CJNG's international operations, overseeing massive drug shipments and laundering millions of dollars in cartel profits. His arrest is being called a major blow to the cartel, but El Mencho, the mastermind behind it all, still remains on the run in Mexico.
El Mencho's story is one of pure terror. Families are ripped apart by the drugs he floods into their streets. Towns are trapped under his violent control, living in constant fear. His legacy is pain, death, and destruction. As the walls close in, one question remains: will he finally fall, or will he slip away again? El Mencho's time is running out, but the battle against the CJNG is far from over. What do you think will happen next? Will justice finally catch up to the world's most wanted cartel leader? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next video.